You cannot imagine pain, the trials I've had to endure. You don't know.
Hello, today I'll be sharing someone's story. I grew up in Puerto Rico where I was raised by my mom until I was like 10 years old. One day she took me to Florida and left me there to fend for myself, pretty much. I lived on the streets and ate out the trash. I got raped sometimes because I had no one to protect me. I always longed to know my father. When I was 24 years old, I got in contact with my father. We met up and we had fun together. I wanted him to be my father so bad that I forgave him for the past. I forgave him for not being there for me and for not looking for me. Maybe a week after we met, we had drinks. I passed out, and when I woke up, I was naked. He started beating me. He put something in my drink. I couldn't move to fight him off. My biological father raped me that day. I felt so stupid. Like, why did I think he loved me? Why did I think he cared after all these years? I blame myself a lot. He acted like he wanted to catch up and really be in my life, to finally be my father and learn to love me. After he raped me, I was introduced to the sex trafficking world where my life was turned upside down. Since then, I've been beaten, raped, and so much more. Wow, I'm sorry that all of that happened to you. And to start it off, like, your mother pretty much like threw you away and you was 10 years old. Like, how can any mother, and they're not even like, I mean, I don't know what mental state she was in or anything like that, but how can any mother that gave birth just throw their kid away after 10 years and not care what happened to them? I don't understand that. I don't get it. And that's so messed up in so many ways. Your mom couldn't take care of you. It was different options out there. She could have, like, gave you to someone or did the adoption thing. She could have did anything, but she left you on the streets to fend for yourself, and you were raped while you were on the streets, and you had to eat out of trash cans or garbage, whatever it was. You had to eat to survive, and no kid should have to go through that at all, period. But that's hard for me to even take in, because your parents are supposed to protect you, love you, but we have so many parents out here that are not like that. They don't love their kids. They don't even care, and it's sad. Like, why even have kids if you know that you're not going to be the best parent that you can be for the kids? I don't understand that. And you said that when you were 24 years old, you got in contact with your father, and y'all, like, guessing, hung out, and y'all had fun, and y'all caught up on everything, and you felt like you could trust him. Of course, you feel like, even if you haven't never seen your father, like, if you have that bond as soon as you meet, of course you're going to trust them. And for him, after a week of y'all getting to know each other, and he built that trust with you, and then he raped you. He put something in your drink, and he raped you. Like, fathers, like parents, period, but fathers are supposed to protect you. They're supposed to be there for you. They're supposed to love you no matter what. And your father put something in your drink and raped you and beat you. Like, that's the ultimate betrayal. Like, how can anyone do that? Your biological father hurt you to the point of no return. Like, how could you ever trust anyone after that happened? Like, how could you trust anyone? How could you just, like, even be normal again after that? Because everyone that you look at or you come across, you're going to think that they're going to do the same exact thing to you, rape you. And you said at the end that you were, like, he introduced you to sex trafficking. So, like, pretty much after he raped you, he sold you to people. And a lot of people, of course, we know about sex trafficking. We know how bad it is, but to put like it's bad, but your father introduced you to sex trafficking. Like, how can any parent do that? But your father that you never known, and then you built that trust with him, and he raped you, and then he sold you. He sold you. Like, that even hurt. Like, that really does something to me. Like, how can you sell your child? How can you rape your child? How can you not love your child? You can't even love yourself if you feel like it's okay to rape your flesh and blood. Incest. Like, you didn't say in the letter, like, if you were a man or a woman. And I don't want to look at it as a gender thing, because it can happen to anyone. Boy, girl. I always say this: boy, girl, man or woman. It happens to everyone. Let's make that clear. It happens to everyone. If you are a woman, and of course, like, people can overpower you easily. If you're a man, people can overpower you. It's weapons, it's guns, it's other people. It's so many things that can happen, and no one can ask that question like, oh, well, why couldn't you fight them off? Like, in your situation, you couldn't fight them off because you were drugged. And in a lot of situations like that, you can't fight somebody off. And there's so many reasons why you can't fight someone off. And people that have never been through the situation of being sexually abused and raped and beaten, they will never understand what someone goes through when they're being sexually abused. You don't know what goes through their head. You don't know what they're thinking. So if you haven't been through it, you really don't know. Like, you have to put yourself, if you haven't been through it, you have to put yourself in someone else's shoes and picture it. Think about it. It started off when you was a kid, pretty much. You were raped because you were on the streets trying to survive. And then when you're 24 years old, you meet your father, and he's supposed to be your father and take care of you, or just be there for you, and just build a bond. And he did that, and in a week's time, he raped you and beat you, drugged you, and introduced you to sex trafficking. Like, that is so disgusting to me. Like, how could anyone do that, but let alone your father? Like, how can a father, someone that's supposed to be a man, you're not a man if you do that. Just like your mother, she wasn't a woman. I don't mean to come off so, like, harsh, but, like, I'm passionate about what I'm doing right now, because it's so many people that go through so much, but it's overlooked. Just like I don't understand how someone can be with someone that they know have hurt someone. Maybe that sounds bad, but how can you be with someone and you know what they do, you know what they've done, and not fear for your kids in a way? How can anyone just, I don't know, I can't picture that. Like, I'm lost for words right now, because not only were you raped and beaten and drugged by your father, he introduced you to sex trafficking. He sold you. That's disgusting to me. Like, I'm really lost for words. I'm trying to, like, get it out there, but it's like I'm boiling on the inside. I'm trying to keep my composure and not say any and everything, but it's like, a parent, how can a parent do that? Hold on and be strong, and to continue to pray. Like, prayer does change things. Like, it really works. Prayer is the key. Like, having faith. If you're still going through it, I know a lot of times that when people are abused and stuff like that, they can't get out of the situation. It doesn't matter how old you are. If someone has a gun up to your head, if someone is beating you, drugging you, and having other people hurt you, how can you get out of that? I just want to ask everyone that have never been through anything like rape, sexual abuse, sex trafficking, anything, how can you get out of a situation where you have no power? Because obviously these people have more power than what you have. Like, you can't go to the cops because you might die. I'm pretty sure this person's life was threatened. I'm pretty sure this person was beaten constantly. It wasn't just like, oh, a one-time thing. If he was introduced to sex trafficking, then what do people that, like, what do? They rape you, they beat you, they make you do sick and horrible and nasty things. You can't get out of that. And I don't know, like you didn't say if you were still going through that, any of that, but I pray that that you start, if you didn't already start your healing process. It's hard to say that to someone that's going through something the same but different than what I've been through. And be strong and to continue to pray. Like, prayer does change things. Like, it really works. Prayer is the key. Like, having faith. If you're still going through it, I pray that it'll get better soon for you. And just keep your head up and be strong, because you'll get through it. And the people that are doing whatever they feel like is okay to do to you, I pray that they'll have their day soon and everyone will be exposed. The sex traffickers sex trafficking, that needs to be exposed and stopped. There's so much that goes on that it's sickening. But I'm praying for you. Thank you for sharing your story.